Hi, I'm Caroline, and a few weeks ago I got home from an amazing 3-week road trip around a small part of the US, where I hiked my way around several national parks in Colorado, Wyoming, and Utah. As the summer comes to a close, I'm enjoying a long weekend in England's Lake District, where I aim to get in a few last hikes in the warm summer weather. I just hadn't expected the bank holiday weekend to coincide with an epic heat wave. Today I'll be doing a circular hike of the Old Man of Coniston.
Good morning and welcome to a very unusually hot and sunny Lake District. It is the August bank holiday weekend here in the UK. Perhaps rather foolishly we are deciding to go and hike Old Man of Coniston this morning, which is one of the more popular hikes here in the Lake District. So I'm thinking that it might be a little bit busy, but it's a hike that I'd really wanted to do the last time that I was up here, but unfortunately as the week went on the weather got worse. I'm up here at the moment with my really good friends and we're in the north of the lakes, so it's going to be quite a drive, about an hour's drive down to the trailhead, but we're going to go down and just hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get a parking space and we'll be able to find a little bit of solitude away from some crowds. We have made it up to the Old Man of Coniston's trailhead, and where we've got kind of a makeshift parking lot. We have managed to get parked up, but we're kind of perilously parked, but we don't feel as though we're blocking in some other people, which is more than what can be said for I think some people who've just kind of parked up wherever they want. And I do feel for some of the other drivers a little bit, because I think they're going to find it quite difficult to get out when they come back to their camper vans. I can't believe it, we've not even started the hike yet, and despite the slightly ugly car park and all of the cars around us, if you actually look past the car park, this is absolutely stunning, and we've not even started walking yet, so I'm hoping this is going to look even better the more we go. Behind me, I think, is where we are going to be going up to. We're going to be hiking along that ridge where paraglider is flying above. I cannot believe that we are in northern England at the moment. The weather is swelteringly hot and I am just absolutely exhausted, and we've barely even gotten into this hike, but the views are absolutely stunning. There's loads and loads of gushing streams, waterfalls, sheep, and yeah, quite a few hikers out, but it's not actually too busy, so we're going to keep on going onwards and upwards. On the way up to the Old Man of Coniston, we found this little, feels little, stone structure, and we're assuming that this has probably been put to the mountainside for when the weather is nothing like the weather today, and it's actually really bad. Maybe there's like snow or really bad rain, and people can just come into one of these to be able to shelter away from the really bad weather until it passes. And I think in a real squish you could probably fit about 3 people in here comfortably too. And this seems rather well built. I think it's dry stone wall technique. It doesn't look like there's any mortar in between them. And I'm now going to embarrass myself trying to get out of here. up to the top of Brown Pike, and I think the trail ridge that you can probably see just behind me there is where we need to get to, or what we need to walk along in order to be able to get to the Old Man of Coniston, which is on the other side. There is the most beautiful breeze up here. I'm just trying to duck down behind a huge cairn. Whilst it's beautiful for cooling me down in this heat, it might be wreaking havoc with the microphone, so we'll have to see if you can even hear what I'm saying right now. When we were doing our planning last night for what walk we wanted to do today, the guide for the Old Man of Coniston was saying that all the way up, when it seems like you're not too sure where the trail is, there will be these cairns. Having just come back from the United States and finding really small cairns that consisted of maybe 7 or 8 at most rocks stacked up on one another, I was really shocked to then have pointed out to me that this is actually a Lake District cairn behind me. I suppose it's because the weather can get so bad up here that the amount of fog and mist that comes in, it can be quite difficult to be able to see the cairns, to know exactly where you need to be walking when the weather is quite bad, and particularly if they were quite small on the standards that I have been experiencing earlier on this summer, then people would quite easily miss them, whereas something as monolithic as the one behind me is much easier to see in that poor weather. So from Brown Pike over there, we've gone back down a little bit and then we've come back up again, and we are now on Buck Pike, and we can now start to see exactly where the trail's going to go. We're going to go back up to another pike before dropping down to get over to Old Man of Coniston. Super windy up here, but actually in this heat it's beautiful. Just come down a tiny little bit from the last pike, a little bit more sheltered here, and we're just going to stop for some lunch. What has been one of the most beautiful walks here in the Lake District so far, really blessed by the weather, has put us through what was really quite a disgusting experience. Those rocks behind us, there were these tiny little pools of water, and it would not be an over-exaggeration to say that there were thousands upon thousands of these tiny little flies that we've all just had to hike through, and loads of other people with us as well. Other people were asking if there were flying ants, and they just completely have covered us. We've gotten through onto the other side of it and got rid of all of the flies from our body, or at least so we think. That was pretty gross. I'm pleased that this is a circular hike and not there and back, because I don't want to have to go through that again. This hike is brilliant. We just keep on going from ridge to ridge, and every single time we go over one we just seem to end up with a completely new view. So what we had down there was a reservoir with a stream going into it, and now we've got a tarn like down there, and then we've got a lake. I'm not too sure which one that one is, and then I think we've got Grasmere off to the left of us. We're probably going to be heading up this ridge here where these guys are just coming down, which should just lead us straight onto the Old Man of Coniston. But it's a great hike as far as the views go. If you've got a clear day like we have today, it's so beautiful up here. This is quite a viewpoint that we've managed to come up to here. So that whole ridge that sort of goes up and down is what we've come across earlier on this morning, and I think in between the second and the third peak along is where we stopped off for lunch. And then if I just turn the camera around a little bit more, we've got the Old Man of Coniston behind us, which is where we are eventually headed. So as we're coming back down off of the peak, we're actually walking through what looks to be like an old mine, and you can see you've got like the old cottages, and we seem to have some kind of cable coming across the actual hiking trail here that I guess would have been used to let cars go up the hills here. It's just really different, nothing that I've really seen before on a hike. Okay, so my Fitbit's telling me that we've walked about 14 kilometres, which was a lot longer than what the guide and map said, so we think that we might have taken a bit of a detour. But the good news is that we can see the car park, which is what you might be able to see behind me over there. But the bad news is, unfortunately, our hiking trail is taking us in this direction fast, but we are all so exhausted right now, and we are happy that the car is in sight, but we just want to get back at this point. Okay, so we managed to make it back to the car park after a truly exhausting hike, especially in this heat, but it was absolutely stunning with just amazing views everywhere we looked, and every time we went back over another ridge it just seemed to open up something completely new. It's been amazing, but we're back at the car. We're going to get the backpack off of the back, check it in the boot, and we are going to make a headway back to the north of the park to maybe go back to the cottage, maybe find somewhere just to get a nice cold drink before we head off. Alright, let's get going.